I've had Android watches ever since they first came out, but they've all suffered with two problems. The first is battery life, and the second is the fact that they're utterly pointless. Until now. Look at that! It's just the coolest thing ever. It's just the coolest thing ever. I'm just in love with this thing. Chill out mode. How cool is that? Turn photography area off.
Turn off the light.
Oh my god, I love it so much! Beneath a plethora of Paul Hibbert trickery here is an Android Wear OS watch called the Mobvoi Ticwatch Atlas. And this is easily the best Android-based watch ever made. And I've tried a lot of Android-based watches. More watches than you could more watches than you could stake a more watches than you could more watches than I can count. Today's video is a countdown of my 3 favorite things that I can finally do with my Android watch, and number 3 will shock you. But it's also a review of the Mobvoi Ticwatch Atlas, and whilst this is a sponsored video, I'm going to be more honest with you than I was with Captain Janeway.
There's coffee in that nebula.
No, there isn't. You think that another humanoid species has not only discovered the coffea plant on their home planet, but also has looked at a cow and thought, those nipples look good, let's tug on those. Just before we get into it, like 90% of people that watch these videos aren't subscribed, and honestly, it does me a huge favour if you do. If you're enjoying what you're seeing, please hit the subscribe button and ding the bell. On with the show. Thanks to Mobvoi for sponsoring today's video and for sending me their Mobvoi Ticwatch Atlas. And unlike the fiddly little 1.2-inch display of my Google Pixel Watch 3, that I'd literally just bought, this thing has a 1.43-inch dual display. 2 displays, I hear you cry. Yes, because Mobvoi are geniuses. They've included not only a super powerful OLED screen for when you're using it, but also a really low-powered LCD screen to save battery when it's in standby. And this is just one of the key reasons it's now totally worth owning an Android watch. If you charged my Pixel Watch 3 and the Mobvoi Ticwatch Atlas side by side simultaneously for 30 minutes, the Mobvoi Ticwatch Atlas would last a full day longer than the Google Pixel Watch 3. A full day. At full capacity, it can last up to 90 hours of life in smartwatch mode, but get this, up to 45 days in low power mode, thanks to its utterly massive 628 milliamp hour battery. It has Bluetooth 5.2, a customizable crown and button, has got a heart rate sensor, SpO2, skin temperature, barometer, altimeter, and compass. Basically, this thing takes a gigantic dump on the Google Pixel Watch 3 and for 20 quid less of your hard-earned money. But today's video isn't just about the Ticwatch Atlas, it's also about all of my favourite things that you can now do with an Android watch that you didn't used to be able to. And to take you through that now is Paul from the past. Paul from the past, have you forgiven me for sleeping with your wife yet? No. And I've just taken out a gigantic mortgage that you can't afford. What? Nothing? Well, he's got me there. First things first, with any Android watch, replace the watch face immediately with the LCARS watch face from Star Trek. Ask any of the cool kids if it's cool to pretend that you live on the Enterprise, and they'll tell you, absolutely, it is cool. Look at that. It's just the coolest thing ever. Like, this alone is a reason to move to an Android watch. Look at it. Look at it. Oh my god.
Shut up, Wesley.
Shut up, Wesley. All you gotta do is search the Play Store for the word Facer. Facer. And you'll find the Facer watch faces, which are going to update because it's clearly out of date. And this is just an app store for getting watch faces, and then you search their store for LCARS, and the official one is amazingly cool. It has 4 separate interfaces. So you've got time, you've got weather, you've got fitness, and you've got science. It's the only watch face I've ever seen that has this amount of data all in one watch face. Hey Mark, you eventually wipe out the human race, do you think? You reckon you're gonna wipe out humanity? Wipe out the human race? Kill all the humans?
Senator, I don't know.
The time section contains time and date and seconds and all that good stuff. The weather section contains whether it's cloudy, the degrees Celsius, high and low. It's got the humidity percentage. The fitness section has got your step count, it's got your calories, it's got the amount of distance you've traveled. And the science section has got a compass on it. It's got your wind speed, your altitude, and your atmospheric pressure. Just mental. And one of the really cool things about this concept is that the time and the battery level are on every single one of those screens. So you can actually just swipe it to the fitness screen and keep it there permanently if that's the one that you use the most. And the watch actually will remember which screen you were on previously. And one of the really nice things with pairing this with the TicWatch Atlas is that it has a nice big, beautiful and bright AMOLED screen for seeing the amount of data that you're being presented with, and also the battery capacity to handle the animations, and a winding crown that allows you to skip through menus and get more easily to your notifications or into the watch's settings. The only thing I will note is that the LCARS watch face is £1.75. How can software weigh £1.75, you dumb idiot, Brit idiot, moron, stupid idiot, Brit idiot, moron? You know, every episode I have to actually say the word quid to avoid exactly that comment. Thank you, America. £1.75 is 2 of your great doll hairs. So the only thing that the official LCARS Star Trek watch face doesn't allow you to do is set your own shortcuts, which is a bit of a shame. So I created my own because I'm terribly rebellious. If you sign up to FaceUp Pro, you can create your own Star Trek LCARS watch face and add a bunch of shortcuts to that watch face. I used their 3-day free trial and added a shortcut that launches an app called Wrist Tool, which in turn uses ChatGPT. Check this out. Is it possible to travel back in time to slap my former self for taking out a mortgage that I can't afford? I'm sorry to hear about your situation, but unfortunately time travel is currently not possible. It might be more productive to focus on finding solutions to your current financial challenges. I recommend reaching out to financial advisors. Shut up. I don't care. The rotating crown is super useful here, and one of the reasons that I haven't actually gone back to my Google Watch. You can use it to kind of scroll through long messages from stuff like ChatGPT or, in fact, any other app, and it really is a lot easier than trying to scroll with your finger. I've also got shortcuts to Google Maps, which works exceptionally well on this watch specifically because it's got robust GPS qualities that not only feature standard GPS for operating in the US and the UK, but also GLONASS, Galileo, Beidou, and QZSS. So even if you went hiking in the mountains of Tibet, this watch still wouldn't let you down. And it's worth mentioning that it also measures air pressure and altitude, which is crucial for mountaineering. Something that I do regularly. In my head. This, it's cold. Regardless, it's cheaper than the Google Pixel Watch 3 anyway, which doesn't have those features. You might as well have them. You could just create the typical shortcuts to things like your step counter, or your heart rate monitor, or your sleep metrics, because this watch does all these things and tracks it to their own app, Tic Health. But I've mapped it to TicWatch's stress monitor, which uses skin temperature as a measurement. I've done this simply because it's a feature that I've never seen on any other smartwatch. It seems to be broken. I'm currently having several existential crises, having become a father at 43, thanks to my past self who decided to get my wife pregnant. I'm currently raising his child. Is he right? This is why we've fallen out. It's why I slept with his missus. And finally, Home Assistant. I have the Home Assistant companion app installed on my watch, and I can actually load the assistant itself from the button on the top of the watch, because Mobvoi have given you the ability to set whatever you want to that button. Check it out. Chill out mode. How cool is that? There is also an app called Ultimate Alexa, and although I can't actually get that to be mapped to the top button, I can create a shortcut on the watch face to it, and that looks like this. Turn the ready room off. Awesome. It's great that I have the option to either have Amazon Alexa as a watch face shortcut or to use Home Assistant as a replacement for that top button, but it does bring me on to the elephant in the room. There's no Google Assistant on the watch. I mean, it's a Google Wear OS watch with no Google Assistant. I don't know why this is, and neither does anybody else. I've scoured the internet and everyone's just kind of like, huh, that's weird. It is weird. If that changes through a firmware update, then I shall put a note in the description to let you guys know. But if you're looking for a watch with Google Assistant, sadly, currently at least, that's not it. Personally, I prefer to use Home Assistant anyway, as it's local, and if I wasn't using Home Assistant, I actually prefer to use Amazon Alexa too. So, although there is no Google Assistant, there are workarounds. It's just if you very specifically wanted Google Assistant that you can't have it. At least not yet. As I say, I'll let you know in the description if that changes. Secondly, it doesn't come with any kind of a charging stand of any description, and there's no wireless charging, similar to the Google Pixel Watch 3. I put it on my charging stand, nothing happened. You can buy third-party chargers off Amazon, though, for a very cheap price tag, and that's exactly what I will be doing. It's a good size. I don't think that looks ridiculous, even on my tiny little baby wrists. However, they don't do it in any smaller size than this, so if you're a lady and you're looking for a watch, this might not suit you. Perhaps I'm just being pernickety. Yes, America, that is a word, not Mary Poppins gobbledygook. We're English. We say things like pernickety and collywobbles. That's what we do. Fiddlesticks! With all that said, at 20 quid cheaper than Google's Pixel Watch 3, and with an insanely better battery life, like huge to the point I can't go back to my Google Pixel Watch 3 because there's literally no point. It's also got an extra button that's programmable, more sensors for things like altitude, skin temperature, and air pressure. I don't know why anyone would buy the Google Pixel Watch 3 when this exists. If Mobvoi can get Google Assistant on this thing, they'll have the literal monopoly on the smartwatch market. There really would be no point in buying anything else. As usual, there are links in the description if you want to pick one up. In the meantime, I'm thanking my patrons, as usual, because without them, I wouldn't be here. I'd be working in a call center. I thank one every week, and this week I'm thanking Chris Clancy because I don't think I've thanked him before. Thanks, Chris. If you want to be like those guys or like Chris, come and hang out at either Patreon or buy me a one-off beer at PayPal, and either way, I will genuinely love you forever. These are my Facebooks, my X's, my Threads, my Instagrams, and my TikToks. Come and hang out there and can be best friends. See you next time. Basically, this thing takes a gigantic dump on the Google Pixel Watch 3 for 20... That's a number 2, Paul. 20... Start again. Brit idiot moron, stupid idiot, Brit idiot moron!